Hello, welcome back, and let us talk about how to effectively use neem oil, or how neem oil actually works on the worms, or why it does not work at times, right? So starting with understanding how neem oil affects the worms and why does it work or why does it not work. Let's start with that. So neem oil basically affects the digestive system of the worms, meaning when they consume the food that the neem oil is sprayed on, it immediately slows down their digestion and impacts how they digest the food, and the worm will stop eating the food and it will eventually die of starvation. So understanding that will also help us understand on how we have to use the neem oil, right? So because it affects the digestive system of the worm, for a worm of this size, it depends on how much of neem oil ingested leaf or neem oil sprayed leaf is this worm eating for it to impact its digestive system and eventually for the worm to die. So that is why when we say you have to spray neem oil, it has to be really thorough underneath the leaf and every little bit of the area of the plants, right? Because that is directly implied on how much of the neem oil is being ingested into the worm. And second thing, it also affects the molting, which means on how it sheds the layers and when it goes into a cocoon, right? So, and also will impact its reproductive system because there is a hormonal imbalance that is created in the worm because of the neem oil. So saying this, we completely can understand on why neem oil does not work on the fruits, on the worms inside a fruit, or it doesn't work on the worms inside the soil, because obviously they are not directly eating any of the neem oil, right? So it is very important to thoroughly spray the entire plant if you want the neem oil to work on the worms. And the best way to use the neem oil is obviously as a prevention, where when you spray it on the smaller eggs or the little worms, then it affects the worm immediately or affects the egg immediately, and they die much early than at this stage, because it needs to eat a bigger portion of that neem oil ingested leaf, and then it will take time for it to process that, and by the time our season is almost done. So what's the best way to deal with this, right? Coming to the cabbage moths, they are mainly interested in obviously the Brassica family of plants. It's mostly that's their major food source. So it's at this stage of the worm, I strongly suggest to hand pick the worms, or you can just take the leaf off and discard it. And if we see, there will be multiple worms on the younger leaves. The mature leaves will not have a lot of worms, but it's the younger leaves that will have a lot of the worms. So it's very important to just go ahead. This way we are acting on the plant immediately, and trust me, if we continue to look for the worms and hunt them down for 2 or 3 days, the plant will be almost clear with absolutely no worms at all, and soon it will bounce back. And it's not really hard. All it needs is 5 to 10 minutes in a day to go to all of your brassicas, check them in the back and in the front, usually mostly the newer shoots, and we are good to go. And I really hope this video is helpful. Neem oil does work, but it takes longer time when it is at this stage of the worm. So I hope this makes sense and it is informative, and see you soon again. Thank you so much, and I really hope this video is helpful.